you're in the middle of a manifestation that your mind is not registering yet, is literally what I've been hearing. And I need to do a reading on this because it's for someone that it's for someone whose body hasn't caught up to the frequency of something that is trying to be manifested. And that's why there's been this weird back and forth in your energy. Like a part of you is excited and part of you is confused, and part of you is already trying to talk yourself out of something you haven't even tried yet, right? So I'm just going to say this up front because this is the energy that's coming through immediately, which is that what's trying to come into your life right now is not, it's not necessarily, it's I don't want to say random, but it's also not, it's just not by chance, okay? And it's part of a higher order sequence that your physical system just hasn't necessarily calibrated to yet. So I just want you to know, if you're here, this is because there's a message that is literally going to help you understand why something is like pulling you towards it, even while there's another part of you that's pushing it away in some way, okay? And if you've been feeling like you want to take a chance on something, but it might come as a frequency of fear or scared, or being scared to take action. If you really tune into your patterns, then it might just feel like, oh, this, like it might not even for you feel like you're being afraid of taking the action, but underneath it, there is some level of fear connected to this thinking or this pattern, right? Or even overthinking. If all of that has been happening and you've been kind of looking for some kind of clarity around this creation or birth of an idea or something like that, look, we have the law of attraction card. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Exactly. Okay. So the message that I was getting is being definitely confirmed, but let's get one more card before we just say it. Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I mean, you can take this literally, but I'm not reading it that way because I have a message that are coming through from these two cards. One more card. Okay, it's too many. Okay, we have distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. Again, you can take this literally if this is your confirmation, but I'm reading this in a very energetic and multidimensional way. So yeah, first thing, it makes so much sense these three cards have come out. But first thing that's coming through is that the way this situation is playing out is way more multidimensional than you realize, okay? Even with the cards that have come out, and we can take them literally and not look at it in a way where it's more multidimensional, but it's the same thing with this thing that is about to be manifested in your life, or that's something that you want to manifest in your life. It's way more multidimensional than you realize, okay? Because this back and forth you've been feeling isn't necessarily indecisiveness or even confusion, okay? It's because, or it's not even about the manifestation itself. It's actually your body trying to interpret a frequency that it has never held before. And obviously there's some part of you that is attracting this situation, that is attracting this manifestation. That is why you feel then again this high of like, no, I want to do it, I want to pursue it. And then there's again this distance in the gap between where you want to go get to and then where you are energetically and also mentally, and this back and forth of, right, the back and forth of this conversation that is going on within you, which seems like confusion or indecisiveness, but it's what's really happening is because your mind is half excited, half skeptical, and your body is basically signaling or letting you know that it doesn't know like what this thing is. But I'm almost, because there's a pattern of bracing for disappointment, the body has stored this pattern somewhere, which is being surfaced up to the mind right now and projecting that onto this manifestation that's about to come in, and already bracing for disappointment. And that's literally the energetic pattern that's trying to clear out right now, so that you can fully be open for this manifestation to come in your life, okay? And this is not anything that like needs a lot of even clearing or healing around, it's the only thing you need to be open to is just being open-minded, okay, and being open-hearted about this situation. And you're not misreading your intuition, is what your guides and your spirit team want to let you know about. You're also not necessarily missing the signs. Like if you've been asking some kind of signs or something to confirm if you should do this thing or not, you're not necessarily missing it. Like you're basically, what you're dealing with right now is a nervous system that has memory, and that memory has been shaped by your past outcomes, or maybe delays, or maybe failed starts, or like just things that just never really materialized the way you had hoped. So of course your first impulse is to protect yourself from disappointment, right? From more disappointment. But the thing is, this is where you're being pulled towards something that you actually do want, but it's just your system doesn't know how to categorize it, because the specific opportunity or manifestation just does not look like what you had planned. And for some of you, you actually planned it, but it's showing up in a direction you never expected, right? And for others, you didn't plan it at all, and because it feels too far off, you just were like, well, not much help in planning it. If it's too far off, why put my energy into that? Or it might not be like these logical, like you might not actually say these things to yourself logically or consciously, but this is like a pattern that has been going on underneath all of that, okay? And this is just a confirmation so that you can understand what's happening energetically. It's not necessarily me calling you out or anything like that. It's just so that I can help you understand this pattern, and then you can completely transmute it just by being open to what's about to come, and so that you don't go into the spiral or questioning your worth in some way, So it's also that sometimes we confuse some kind of fear or these doubts or like just logical, rational reasons with intuition, and we don't realize it sometimes. But intuition doesn't necessarily shut anything, okay? That's how we can kind of discern. Intuition won't say, do this, but this might not happen, or it won't shut down the idea right away. Like, does that make sense? It's just going to be in a place of neutral clarity, okay? The distance, the logics, all of that, right? Like the groundedness or the practicality or the pragmaticness about it just wouldn't be an obstacle, or wouldn't be something that would put a dam onto that, something that you're trying to attract to. It basically, you just have to remember, intuition is neutral clarity. So there's nothing more that you need to understand besides the first step that you need to take. That's the only thing you need to look at right now. And sometimes fear is that thing that sounds like logic, but it's actually just a pattern memory, just being so loud in our head that we don't want to take that step. And right now, your higher self, your spirit team, whatever you resonate with, even God, right? Whatever it is, they've already kind of given you the signs, given you the signal, whatever it is that you've been asking for. And your soul field already has registered this frequency, and your mind is just trying to play catch up while your body is still, calibrating to this manifestation. And this is why the resistance feels so physical, because you're stepping into a frequency band that your nervous system doesn't have a blueprint or a historical blueprint for, right? This physical body doesn't have that historical blueprint. So you're stepping into something basically that belongs to your future version, not a past version. Or your future version, not your past version, right? So of course your body is going to kind of be confused on what is happening or what is coming. So it doesn't know. It's just confused in that sense, okay? But then there's sometimes where you feel that excitement. You're like, ooh, I got that ping, right? I got that download. I got that inspiration. And then you again feel like, oh, you need to go ahead and do it. And you can feel that manifestation kind of attracting you to it, and that coming towards you as well. So there could be these back and forths, the highs and lows, and the going up and crashing again. That is making you talk yourself out of it, because it feels too big or too sudden or too unexpected or too much of a unfamiliar thing, and it doesn't have a stable neutral field, and which is why there might be some kind of rejection towards it from your body, okay? And The only thing I'm being called to let you know of, or like being guided to tell you about, okay, these two cards just wanted to be flipped. Oh, I love that. But I want to say this before I go into these cards, is that I'm just hearing I'm open for divine intervention. So I think this is coming through as like an affirmation that you can use, which is I'm open for divine intervention. I'm open for divine intervention. If you just say this to yourself, like genuinely say this to yourself and to your mind and your body, by maybe just holding your body, or putting your heart, or putting your hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, however it is that you feel safer in your body, however you can hold your body and make it feel safe, and just say out loud, I'm open for divine intervention. This is when that wiggle space will be created for you. Okay. And like also what I'm hearing with these two cards, strength and courage, obviously you're going to need strength and courage for this to happen, but it's not in the sense that like that feeling of like courage, strength, warrior energy. It's not in that sense. Like, I'm just not getting it. It's actually for you to soften it up, for you to soften your energy. It's to actually loosen it up, right? So I'm also hearing, if there's nothing for you to lose by trying, then just try it. Just take a chance. Okay, so this is for someone who's just wanting to take a chance. Obviously, if it doesn't harm you and there's, like I said, nothing for you to lose, then just go ahead and try it, is what's coming through for you right now. Okay, so that is also something that will help you to just kind of be more comfortable with the uncomfortability of things and uncomfortability of how manifestation comes in, because it's not most of the time, or almost never, it doesn't come in expected ways. It doesn't come in unexpected ways. So your body right now just needs that wiggle space for you to create this like a blueprint, or have this like sense of comfort in trying new things, so that your body realizes trying new things doesn't automatically equate to disappointment, or doesn't automatically equate to danger, right? You're just trying to, even if this thing is not going to be your next big thing, it's just calibrating you towards that, so that your body requires more familiarity. So you just become more familiarity with the unfamiliar territory, or the templates that are trying to come in your life and that are trying to be magnetized towards you. And obviously, if you've never experienced, like, let me give you an example. If you've always only made $10,000 a month, and you're now trying to reach $50,000 a month, and you've never made that before, your body doesn't know the pattern behind how that happened. So it doesn't feel familiar with it, which then makes it feel unsafe in its manifestation of it happening, because it doesn't know what it takes, what will require out of it, right? So you're just getting it more comfortable to take the steps needed one at a time as you do this. And then we have the influence card, and obviously it does take strength and courage in one way or another, but more so just open-mindedness and more open-heartedness. Okay, then we have influence, which makes me think of phases and stages of this. So right, the highs and lows, the crash and burning, and the peaks and valleys of this feeling going up and down. And also maybe you guys are being very affected by the moon phases right now, is also what I'm being called to let you know. And I think it might be that you just have to be more aware of how you're being affected by the moons, and not just like give into it. Does that make sense? Like, just because the moon is in certain sign doesn't mean your body has to react in that way. This is also when we kind of go beyond our karma, which is our astrological chart. Okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into that right now, because that's not the message here. Maybe we'll save that for another reading. But let's get one more card. And this intervention that is trying to come in, or this manifestation that's trying to come in, is actually going to take you to the places that is going to like bring in the materializations that you've actually hoped for. And this is something you've actually wanted to attract to yourself, but it just might come in unexpected ways. So again, the affirmation, I'm open for divine intervention, that will be very, very, very helpful. Okay. And we have communication. That's very interesting. Okay, I'm getting, you have to communicate this to your body. Okay, and you have to make sure you're communicating to your body to make it feel safe, to just tell the body it's safe to just try the idea, try the creation, try the opportunity, try the collaboration, even though there might be certain things that you feel like you need to understand to receive it. You just need to stop rejecting the possibility of it, right? So this is not necessarily you like being irrational by taking the opportunity or trying this opportunity or going for this next step that just feels maybe not so logical, or like, why would I do this? But if there's nothing for you to lose, again, just give it a try. Okay, that's really something your guides want to say. Just try the thing that keeps tapping you, even when you kind of like ignore it or try to ignore it, it just keeps coming back to you, right? Because what's happening behind the scenes is just this divine orchestration and the divine and the so many celestial things, cosmic things trying to communicate to you that this is coming in. Okay, and this is why there are a lot of unfamiliar things coming in, because it's something you've never manifested before, and it's actually going to happen this time. So in whatever ways it shows up, and the degree of success will depend on, you know, your own soul's agenda or how you are wanting to manifest this. And for every individual that will be different, but it's just, this reading is just basically a confirmation that it's not your confusion, it's not necessarily you being indecisive in this sense, but it's just you're calibrating, your body's calibrating, okay? And this frequencies that you're calibrating to is bigger than what you thought you were manifesting, okay? So yes, the manifestation is definitely coming. And if you feel it in your bones, there's something, some kind of result, something trying to materialize. This is your confirmation. This reading is your confirmation. And I just wanted you to understand this energetic pattern that is going on behind it. So I hope this helped you, and I hope this supports you on your journey. But thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an absolute delight channeling this for you. And now I'll see you in another reading. Namaste.